better tomorrow. Today's story:
The Diamond Necklace.
He was American, and of course, being so, he thought the world should bow to him and his money. Monsieur, I said to him, if you do not like my fish, the best from the rivers of France, you can go back to your own savage little country with its muddy streams and eat catfish.
Bon, I applaud you. We need not be insulted by them or anyone, even though we are peasants. After all, you sell fish.
Oui.
I sell garden vegetables, but we are French.
We are French.
Our king is Louis Philippe, of the Bourbon Orleans family. Oh, look, the pretty one comes.
Oh, bonjour.
Bonjour, Madame Therese.
Ah, the pretty little French girl. So pretty. All the village boys admired her.
Ah, but she was too good for them. Such chic is not for the provinces to be wasted on country lads. It rightfully belongs here in Paris, where the young gallants on the boulevards can see her. She'll catch the eye of some gentleman, perhaps even a noble. What a fine wife she should be.
But she has no dowry, no property or money.
Ah, that is fatal. A young woman cannot make a good marriage unless she has a good dowry.
It is a barbarous thing, a shameful thing, a dowry.
Why so? It's been thus in every nation in Europe for hundreds of years. No man of consequence, not even the dandies among the gentlemanly classes, wishes to marry a girl who has no money, no property, no dowry.
We marry so, you may marry us.
Ah, but we are peasants. They are genteel people. Oh, it's money that makes the difference between us and them. A girl cannot have any prospects in life without a dowry.
Someday it may change. Perhaps someday we may no longer have the class system. Peasants, artisans, workers, the upper classes, and the nobility.
True, but until then, your pretty young friend is mired in the working class, stuck with
no hopes,
no dowry.
No dowry. No dowry.
no hope,
No dowry.
no
dowry.
hope,
No dowry.
no hope.
No dowry.
Gabrielle was one of those pretty, charming young ladies belonging to a family of clerks. Because she had no dowry, she had no hopes of becoming known, appreciated, loved, and married by a man either rich or distinguished. Thus it came about one day that Gabrielle married Maurice Loisel, a poor young man employed as clerk in the office of the Board of Education. Though Maurice loved and worshipped his new bride and gave her every attention, Gabrielle was not happy. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls, the worn chairs, and the faded stuffs. She longed for the delicacies and the luxuries of the well-to-do. She imagined how happy she would be in the place of one who dwelt in the quiet antechambers with their oriental hangings lighted by high bronze torches. In her mind, she pictured large drawing rooms hung in old silks, graceful pieces of furniture carrying bric-a-brac of inestimable value, little perfumed, coquettish apartments made for 5 o'clock chats with most intimate friends, of 2 great footmen in short trousers who sleep in the large armchairs, made sleepy by the heavy air from the heating apparatus.
Why was I not born to be rich? It isn't fair. It isn't fair.
One evening,
Gabrielle? 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 Gabrielle?
Hello, hello!
there they go. A
in all their finery. Such finery as they could scrape together, that is. Oh, I tell you, it cost them a pretty penny.
Is that so?
Indeed it did. I heard the whole thing. Ha! They won't be able to eat for weeks, just so they could attend a sinful ball.
Tell me, Mimi, tell me what happened.
Well, the walls between their apartment and mine are so thin. Believe me, if they cough, I have to wipe my nose. I can overhear everything that goes on. And I tell you, if you only knew the life that vain, cruel girl leads that poor man. If you could hear how she berates him, reviles him for being so poor.
Oh, shameful.
Anyway, on this particular night, 5 weeks ago, he came rushing home, wildly calling her name. That nice young man.
Yes.
He works in the Ministry of Instruction, you know.
Yes.
By some luck, he'd gotten an official invitation this year to the Minister of Education's residence for the grand annual ball.
Really?
Think of her at a ball. Why, she never even goes to
I
church.
believe she's an atheist. That's what I believe.
I wouldn't doubt it. That spiteful, haughty creature. Do you know what she did?
No, what?
She snatched the envelope from him and tore it to shreds. Then she stamped her foot and screamed at him. How can I go to a reception like the minister's ball, she raged, when I have nothing to wear? So he scraped together money from somewhere and bought her that gown she was wearing.
But the necklace, that beautiful diamond necklace, she's wearing it as though she was the Queen of England. Where did she get it?
She borrowed it.
Really?
She has a rich friend from her school days. Madam Forrester, I think it is. I'm not sure. Whatever her name is, she went to the woman and borrowed that necklace after bullying her poor, distracted husband into letting her ask such a shameful thing.
No.
I won't go unless I can borrow some jewelry, she screamed.
Well, Mimi, they'll be in about midnight, I suppose. Can I come up and wait with you? I'd like to hear everything. Perhaps they'll have a quarrel. You look at the keyhole and I'll listen. That way we won't miss anything.
The ball arrived. Madame Gabrielle Camille Mathilde Loisel was a great success. She was the prettiest of all. Elegant, gracious, smiling, and for once full of joy.
Who is she?
She's lovely.
Such grace, such poise. Oh, my Eugene thinks she's splendid.
Everyone noticed her, asked her name, and wanted to be presented. All the members of the cabinet wished to waltz with her. The Minister of Education paid her some attention. She talked and laughed happily, intoxicated with pleasure, thinking of nothing in the triumph of her beauty, in the glory of her success, in a kind of cloud of happiness that came of all this homage and all this admiration, and this victory so complete and so sweet to her heart. Toward 4 o'clock in the morning, she went home. Her husband had been half asleep in one of the little salons since midnight with several other gentlemen whose wives were enjoying themselves very much. He threw around her shoulders the wraps they had carried for the coming home, modest garments of everyday wear whose poverty clashed with the elegance of the ball gown. She keenly felt this and wished to hurry away in order not to be noticed by the other women who were wrapping themselves in rich furs.
Wait, you'll catch cold out there. I'm going to call a cab.
But she would not listen and descended the steps rapidly.
Wait! Wait!
When they were in the street, they found no carriage, and they began to seek for one, hailing the coachman whom they saw at a distance.
Coachman! Coachman! Carriage!
They walked along toward the Seine, cold and shivering. Finally, they found on the dock one of those old carriages that one sees in Paris after nightfall. as if they were ashamed of their misery by day.
Hey, monsieur!
Pardon, monsieur, madame. I had fallen asleep. It is very late, you know. So, where do you want to go? To Mathieu Street? Certainement. Allons, vite.
It took them as far as their door in Martyr Street.
Bonsoir, madame. Bonsoir, monsieur.
And they went wearily up to their apartment. It was all over for her. And on his part, he remembered that he would have to be at the office by 10 o'clock and began getting ready for bed. She removed the wraps from her shoulders before the glass for a final view of herself in her glory.
What is it? What is it? What's the matter? Stop it, Gabrielle. What's the matter? The what?
The
What?
necklace! The necklace? I no longer have Madame Forestier's necklace.
What?
Oh, the necklace, it's gone. I no longer have it. It's lost.
No, it can't be. Look in the folds of your dress. In the folds of the mantle.
Search your pockets. Perhaps. Here, stand still. I'll look.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But are you sure you still had it when we left the minister's residence?
Yes, I felt it as we were coming out.
But if you lost it in the street, we should have heard it fall. It must be in the cab.
Yes, it is probable. Did you take the number?
Well, no. Did you notice what it was?
No. Oh, I know.
They looked at each other, utterly cast down. Finally, Maurice Loisel dressed himself again and put on his coat.
I'm going over the track where we went on foot to see if I can find it.
Gabrielle remained, still dressed in her evening gown, not having the force to go to bed. Towards 7 o'clock, her husband returned. He had found no trace of the lost necklace. All that day, she waited in a state of bewilderment after this frightful disaster. Toward evening, Maurice Loisel returned with his face harrowed and pale.
It'll be necessary to write your friend. Write. Say that you've broken the clasp of the necklace. Say that you will have it repaired. This will give us time to find a way out, perhaps.
At the end of a week, they had lost all hope. And Maurice Loisel, older by 5 years, declared,
We must take measures to replace the necklace.
The next day, they took the box which had enclosed it to the jeweler whose name was on the inside. He consulted his books.
It is not I, Madame and Monsieur, who sold this necklace. I only furnished the casket.
Then they went from jeweler to jeweler, seeking a necklace like the other one, consulting their memories, both of them, ill, wretched, and anxious. In a shop of the Palais Royal, they found a chaplet of diamonds, which seemed to them exactly like the one they had lost. It was valued at 40,000 francs. They could get it for 36,000. They begged the jeweler not to sell it for 3 days, and they made an arrangement by which they might return for 34,000 francs if they found the other one before the end of February. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs, which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest.
Monsieur, your credit is extremely precarious. But because of the steadiness of your employ with the Ministry of Education and the Department of Instruction, we will advance you these funds. Sign here.
Sign here. Sign here. Sign here. Sign here.
He borrowed it, asking for 1,000 francs of one, 500 of another, 5 louis of this one, and 3 louis of that one. He gave notes, made ruinous promises, took money of usurers and the whole race of lenders. Finally, he went to the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter
36,000 francs.
When Madame Loisel took back the jewels to Madame Forestier, the latter said to her in a frigid tone,
"You should have returned them to me sooner. I might have needed them. Here, give me the jewel box."
Her friend did not open the jewel box as Gabrielle Loisel feared she would. If she should perceive the substitution, what would she think? What should she say? Would she take her for a thief? Gabrielle Camille Mathilde Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. She did her part, however, completely and heroically. It was necessary to pay this frightful debt, and she would pay it.
I shall eat but one meal a day.
Oh, but Gabrielle.
No. Do not protest. You must keep up your strength, and you must have hot lunches especially, for your work in the Department of Instruction must not suffer. But I'm strong. I shall eat one meal a day, and only that.
Oh, how much will that save us?
I have figured it up. You see, here it is on paper. In a month's time, we can cut our expenses by 20 francs.
I cannot allow it, Gabrielle.
Please, let's not argue. It is decided. Bonjour, monsieur. My name is Gabrielle Loisel. It is I who knocked. I take in sewing at my home, needlework, mending clothing, anything. Will you be good enough to ask Madame, your wife, if she will not employ me to care for your children's things? Please? Yes, I take in laundry. My charge? Why, you must pay me the same amount you give a public laundress. Do you think just because I work in my home I shall take less? Not a penny less. Not a penny less, do you hear? Oh, forgive me, mademoiselle. It is simply that I'm so tired, so very tired today. I shall be quite all right. Merci. You will call for your washing tonight at 6 p.m. If you would let me iron it too for you, I do exceptional work. Merci. Merci. Merci.
Oh, we're sinking under this load. Our economies are not enough. Look at these figures.
We must give up these quarters.
Yes, I suppose that would be best.
I saw a to-let sign yesterday for some rooms in a boarding house in the Place de Cartel.
I know, but they're the third floor, n'est-ce pas?
Yes, but we must take them. See to it then tomorrow, on your way home.
They're cheap, shabby rooms. Well, what are we to do?
It will be difficult to keep my customers. They will not want, of course, to walk up. Perhaps if I keep a large handbell in the downstairs hallway.
True, they can ring. They can ring for you.
If I leave the door open while I'm standing over the tubs and washboards, I can hear them. I can go down to fetch their clothes. I'm coming.
She washed the soiled linen, the chemises and dishcloths which she hung on the line to dry. She took down the refuse to the street each morning and brought up the water, stopping at each landing to breathe. And clothed like a peasant woman, she went to the grocer's, the butcher's, and the fruit merchant with her basket on her arm, shopping, haggling to the last penny her miserable money.
Maurice, wake up! Wake up!
What is it?
There's a light burning in the hall. You left the gas lamp on. It's been burning all night. Do you want to...
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had just enough kerosene to last us until Tuesday. Now you wasted half the supply. We haven't a penny to get more. We haven't a penny for food. We haven't a penny for anything.
And this life lasted for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had restored all all, with interest of the usurer and accumulated interest besides.
Oh, it's finished. Finally. It's finished.
Gabrielle Camille Mathilde Loisel seemed old now. She had become a strong, hard woman, the crude woman of the poor household. Her hair badly dressed, her skirts awry, her hands red. She spoke in a loud tone and washed the floors with large pails of water. But sometimes, when her husband was at the office, she would seat herself before the window and think of that evening party of former times. Of that ball where she was so beautiful and so flattered. How would it have been if she had not lost that necklace? Who knows? Who knows? How strange is life and how full of changes. How small a thing will ruin or save one.
Oh, Mama, see the organ grinder and his little monkey? How funny it is. It's amusing.
Give me your hand, Pierre.
One Sunday, as Gabrielle was taking a walk in the Champs-Élysées to rid herself of the cares of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman walking with a child.
Why, it can't be. But it is she.
It was Madame Forestier, still young, still pretty and attractive. Madame Loisel was affected. Should she speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not?
Good morning, Jean.
But who are you? Oh, it is shameful. Refined persons cannot any longer walk on Sundays in the Champs-Élysées without being accosted by vulgar common people.
Who is this woman, Mama?
Shh. I do not know, darling.
Then why does she call you Jean? It is not very polite for a person like her to call you by your first name. Look at those old clothes of hers. Whose servant is she? Whose servant is she?
Darling, we mustn't be rude. Hasn't Mama told you that? You must forgive the child. I'm sorry, Madame. If you'll forgive me, my son and I must walk on. I do not know you.
You do. Yes, you do.
But, Madame, I do not know. You must be mistaken.
No. I am Mathilde Loisel. Gabrielle Camille Mathilde.
You? Mathilde? Oh, my poor Mathilde. How you have changed.
Yes. I have had some hard days since I saw you, and some miserable ones. And all because of you.
Because of me?
You.
But how is that?
You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned me to wear to the minister's ball?
Oui, very well.
Well, I lost it.
No. How is that, since you returned it to me?
I returned another to you exactly like it. And it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. You can understand that it was not easy for us who had nothing. But it is finished, and I am decently content.
You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine?
Yes. You did not perceive it then. They were just alike.
Gabrielle Camille Mathilde Loisel, standing there, looking at her attractive former friend with her small child, knew that she indeed had something to be proud of. She congratulated herself. She was an honest woman. She had done her duty. She had creditably filled her obligation. That accident, that disaster of long ago, she had met with competence and fortitude. So closely had she replaced the expensive lost diamond necklace that in 10 years her old friend had still not discovered the substitution. She thought of all this, Gabrielle Camille Mathilde Loisel, and she smiled with a proud and simple joy. But Madame Forestier was touched, and she took both her hands in her own as she replied,
"Oh, my poor Mathilde. Mine were false. They were only imitation diamonds, not worth over 500 francs.
Wow, that that was certainly a surprise ending. As the saying goes, all that glitters isn't gold, or as in this case, diamonds.
Appearances are often deceiving.
Just imagine, Gabrielle was trying to make people think she was something she wasn't. And all the time, she herself was fooled by those fake diamonds.
You know, Uncle Dan, when I first read this story, all I could think of was the frustration and bitterness she must have felt when she found out the diamonds weren't real.
But you feel differently now?
Yes, she may have lost her outward beauty through those 10 years of privation, but she actually became a better person.
Well, I certainly liked her better by the end of the story.
Me too. Although outward appearances may attract us to someone at first, it's who they really are in the inside that makes us like them.
I think it's that time again, Aunt Carol.
That it is, Uncle Dan.
So until we meet again, stay happy.
And remember, we love you.
This has been your Story Hour, building for a better tomorrow.
This is Aunt Carol.
And Uncle Dan saying,
Goodbye, everyone. See you again next time.